evening, everyone. It's Bernie here from Stampin' Up, and welcome back to my craft room. It is April Fool's Day today, 2025. Welcome. If you're watching on the replay as well, it's lovely to have you here. Good evening, Mum. Oh, you're having some rain. Nice. Could you send us some, please? We've had such dry weather. It's crazy. And of course, I've got Rich here tonight.
Hello.
So next week you're not here though, eh? You're
No.
in Hamilton for the evening. So I'll be on my own next week. So hopefully we have a few extra people joining us, but if they don't, that's also okay. But welcome nonetheless. Do say hi if you're joining us. I've got a big project to share with you tonight, but before I do that, I just want to let you know that if you enjoy using Stampin' Up products, they announced their last chance products today. So do go and have a look on the website under, I think you can find it under shop, under sale or specials. I think that's where it is. I went through the list of stuff that's retiring, and I've had to mark 16 of my stamp sets. So what that means is that they've changed things a little bit from how they used to do it in years gone by. So what this means is these products move on to the last chance list, and they will remain there until they sold out. So in the days gone by, when it was on the last chance list, come the new catalog, that was it. You couldn't grab them. But they've changed that, so it's now literally while stocks last. So if something's on there and it sells out next week, too bad. Or if it hangs around for 6 months, that's great. So it makes it a little tricky for demonstrators like myself that normally do a big cleanup of our craft rooms and sell off our old stock, the stuff we want to get rid of. So now we have to keep checking in. But anyway, that's what it is. But speaking of bringing in new and bringing in old, let's head over to my craft desk. So last week I asked the question, what would you like to see me make this week? And Mum asked if I could make a little mini album. And I do have a mini album that I teach in my face-to-face classes, but it's about a 3-hour class. And I said, oh, I can't do that. But then it got me thinking, what can I do on a live? So I went searching for a mini album template that would be quick and easy, and I came across these measurements from Carolina's Crafts with a K. Carolina's Crafts, both of those with a K. So the measurements are exclusively hers, and a big shout out for her sharing that on her YouTube channel, but the decoration is mine. So this is what I did. Once I got the basic, let me take you through a walkthrough what we're going to do tonight, and then we can get started. So I love lavender. I also love the whole vintage look. These are dried flowers that I've picked up from my walks in the bush nearby. That's a dried Helleborus. That's some statice, and I don't know, that's just a weed that I dry. Then this we open up, and it's got a magnet. And so I've just got a little tuck pocket in there with a little verse. This is a little tuck pocket as well that we're going to be making. So that one moves in and out with some watercolor pictures that I've painted. The stamps, excuse me, are all from the new Paper Artsy stamp that I'll be using. This is a little tuck pocket, and I just put some of my hearts in there that I watercolored. But these open like so, and you've got this whole panorama that you can put messages in.
Or photos.
Or photos, right? And that's another one of my watercolor flowers that I tucked in. You could also put photos in there, or souvenirs from a trip to wherever. This is another little tuck pocket that I've also just put some more of my watercolors in, and that opens like that. And then that closes, and then I've got the same on the back and then this on the spine. All right. So I'm going to set that to the side because I'm going to need to use that as my guide I've done some of the stamping ahead of the time and some of it I'll do with you. So if you want to replicate this, I have put all the measurements on my blog, stampineat.com. You can go and have a look at there. They'll be on tonight from 8 p.m. New Zealand time, but I will mention them now anyway. So you're going to need a piece of basic white cardstock, cut at 9 inches by 4, scored at 4 and 5. So let's just give that a burnish. So this is going to become the front and back. Okay, so just going to make sure. So I have set the camera a little bit higher tonight because last week it was doing its funny little zoom in, zoom out thing all the time. Then the second piece, thank you, Mum. The second piece of cardstock is 8 3/8 of an inch by 4. Score it at 4 and 4 3/8. Yeah, it's a very simple design, but it's the stamps, and I'll show you the stamps shortly. So if you don't already know this about me, last year, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know last year, in the middle of the year, I got that terrific cough, and it just wouldn't go away. And there was quite a long period of time where I was actually rather unwell with it. And during that period, I was on the couch just resting, and my YouTube suggestions came in and suggested that I look at this creator called Words and Pictures. Okay, but before I do that, I just want to tell you what I'm doing. So I'm going halfway in that score. So there's a score. Camera slightly more to left.
Yeah,
you've moved me. Okay. So I'm just in the spine of the base. I'm now bringing that narrower piece and I'm placing this halfway with my top and my bottom exactly parallel. All right, like so. Anyway, so I discovered this lady by the name of Alison Bomber. Her YouTube handle, her Instagram handle is Words and Pictures. And I may have mentioned her before, but she is incredibly talented with her design work. And yeah, the inspiration, a lot of my inspiration comes from following her these days. And she designs stamp sets and she sells them through Paper Artsy. And Paper Artsy, believe it or not, is actually founded by two Kiwis who now are in America. So, long story. Okay. So I've just got pieces of cardstock, 4x4, 4x4, and 1x4, and we are going to do our front and back and stem stamping. And let me introduce you to the stamps I'm using. So I'm using the Paper Artsy stamps, the Lavender edition, and in New Zealand we can get them through Simon Says Stamps. If you're watching this and you're overseas, you might just have to find out where you can get them. So I'm going to be using most of these. I'm going to use her lavender stamp. What I love about her stamps is the ephemera comes from legal documentation that belonged to her family. So there's a real history in the stuff that she puts on her stamps. She draws her own stamps. These are all her own artwork. And like I say, this ephemera comes from legal documents. So I love that kind of thing. I just love it. So I'm going to be using the red rubber stamps. I'm going to be using Gorgeous Grape. And let's get stamping. So I'm just going to move this one out of the way and straighten that up. So I'm going to ink this one up with my Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to bring it into the side. Whoops, that wasn't very well stamped. So let's try that again. And I'm going to do stamp there. I know why. I need to bring my mat. Let me just get my mats. Even though it's a red rubber stamp, my table is just where I do my stamping is the join. So let's bring that back into the camera. Leslie Ann, she's back. You over your jet lag.
Welcome back, Leslie Ann.
Welcome back. We missed you. All right, and we're just going to repeat it. Tell us about your. No, you were on last. Were you on last week? Was she on last week?
No.
The week before? I can't remember now. All right. I will be coming. Oh, I don't know if I'll be coming back with that. But anyway. Okay, now I'm going to be bringing in this gorgeous postcard stamp and some crumb cake. And we're going to go on the top. And I'm also going to come on the side.
Yeah, no, Leslie Ann said she was in London the week before.
Yes, but you joined us one evening when you were overseas.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Keep the crumb cake out. And we're just going to bring in some of that nice legal text.
Yeah, the lavender is beautiful. I love it too, Leslie Ann.
Okay. And the middle one. Awesome. Now I just want to bring in, oh, actually no, before I do that, I want to do my little stampy stamp first. Might do my stampy stamp over there. So with me pulling the camera up, are you able to see this okay? Just let me know, because I just found last week, I always like to just go and review my videos and just make sure the clarity is okay. And it just seemed like it was zooming in and out. So I would appreciate just getting some feedback if it's okay. So I'm just coming over with my blending brush and some crumb cake just to give it a bit of an aged look. Especially on the sides. I might even bring in some old espresso. And see, this one's also going to look very different. Might need to have some flowers coming on there. We'll see. We'll see how we go. So how is everybody's? Move it up a bit. Move it up this way a bit. Okay. No, it's not printed paper. It's moi stamping it. Okay. All right, so let's glue that on while we're here. I just want to see which one I prefer for my front.
I want it still higher, love. Push it higher up.
Like that? A bit low and left, Bernie. Can you come up? You mean, can I come up with my camera? You want my camera down? How's that? Tell me if that's better.
But now you got to bring it back down more.
This way? Is that better, ladies?
And higher up. Higher up.
I don't understand. I'm getting conflicting messages. Is that better? Is that better? It was fine. Oh, you mean I must go back up? Okay, let's try that like that. All right, I've gone up. Okay, I've gone up ever so slightly. Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, now I need to figure out which one I want on the front. I'm going to go with this one on the front. So we're going to glue this onto the front. Just make sure you're matching up your sides really well. Just use your fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to do the back. Who's watched that movie Adolescence, or the series Adolescence?
Series on Netflix.
A lot of talk about it at the moment. We've got it on our watch list, but we haven't yet started it, eh?
Most watched series on Netflix, like ever, broken all records.
Well, it's because it's so relevant for
what. Not a whodunit, but a whydunit murder. Well,
it's actually more showing up the whole problem with social media and how it's affecting our children. Okay, so there we go. There's our front, our back, and our spine.
Leslie Ann's busy watching it.
Are you?
Well, it's only 4 episodes, so it shouldn't take too long.
Okay, we're going to open up so now we're coming to this. So we're doing the front, done the front. So now we're going to make the pocket, which opens up like that. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that to the side. What you're going to need for that is you're going to need a piece of paper, 3 7/8 by 4 3/8, scored on the long end at 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to burnish that. And that is going to be glued on to the top there. All right. So I'm going to put my glue there. And you want a couple of things. You want to make sure you're keeping those lines clear. And you also want to come in parallel, which is not what I'm doing right now. Parallel over there. So give it a good burnish. Excellent. And now I've got pieces of just want to make sure they're fitting. Perennial lavender, which is coming back in the annual catalogue. Yay! One thing I can keep. I think you missed the beginning, Leslie Ann, when I said was it 15, 16? Hold on, let me just make sure I've got the right one here, because one's shorter than the other. Yeah, I think that's the right one. 16 stamp sets that are retiring in my personal stash. Okay, so just give that a good burnish. Now we need to put a magnet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to so the magnet needs to come onto the pocket and it needs to come onto the end. So the first thing I want to do is I want to just glue this pocket down, okay, on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to get a magnet. So I get my little teeny tiny magnets from Magnet NZ. They're tiny. Just put him down there and put him in place. I'm going to put this down with some tear and tape. Just lift up. Oh no, before I do that, second piece with the sticky side up, bring that magnet back, the second magnet I mean. I can't get it off here now. Let it snap. Bring over the flap. Let me just push it in the camera. Lifting it up. All right, there we go. Now we can put our paper in. So just release the paper, put a little bit of glue over the sticky side, and we can put our DSP over. And we're going to do exactly the same. I just threw that away. A little bit of paper, glue there. And glue this down. Cool. Page number 2. Now, on top of that, what am I doing? Go up. Okay. Oh, I've just realized. Hold on. I just realized I need another piece here. Hold on. Let me just get my paper quickly. I've just realized I did not cut a piece for that. So let's do that. So I need a piece of that. And it is 4x4. Love this paper. Just make sure that's going to fit on top. No, it's 3 7/8. Just a little bit smaller. 3 7/8 by 3 7/8.
Oh, that's a big one. Smaller.
Yeah. There are just a lot of pieces to be putting on it. So clearly I forgot this one. Cool. Okay, so there we've got our flap. Now we can do the next piece. So we're doing this one with the belly band. So that is the check. And when you use a sweet paper like this, you're not going to go wrong because they all designed to work together. So, oops. Whew, okay, you're right. Okay, and then the belly band is 1 3/8 by 4, which I've already stamped and done. Is this the mini album? Well, I haven't replied to you yet because I can make this the mini album. I hadn't intended on making this one the class, but I can certainly do the class. I have no problem making this the class. When I reread my letter, I was like, I can see how you might have thought this was the class because the photo was directly below the information. So yes, we can absolutely make this the class for the 26th of April. Okay, so that's your belly band. Now we're turning the page. And on this one, we've got these two with the side pieces that are going to open. So they are also folds. You should see all the bits I've got here next to me. So we've got 4 1/4 by 4, and on the long end scoring at 1/2 inch. Okay, and so the one is going to be facing this side, matching it up on the edge.
As Leslie Ann says, mini albums are lovely gifts.
They are. And now that our postage in New Zealand is going up to almost $3 a stamp, I think we are going to have to start coming up with other ideas to use our paper craft other than cards. I mean, $3 is quite a lot of money to pay for a stamp. So, excuse me, see what I've done there? I've done the one flap opening to the left. It's got a bit of glue on that one. And the other one, I just want to burnish this, is opening to the right. And on both of these, I'm putting some designer series paper that matches. I'd love to get a gift like this. It would be a beautiful gift. And this one. Oops. Finish that. Now there are 2 pieces, 1 3/4 by 4, that are tuck spots, and I've already stamped them just to save some time. And I just used that green stamp in Pretty Peacock, and again the crumb cake, and I'm just gluing it around the 3 corners, one on this side, so that it creates a little tuck spot, and then one on that side.
Mama says she doesn't know when last you posted a letter because it's so expensive in South Africa as it is here.
Yeah. Yep. Leslie Ann, I started an open card group at our church once a month. Oh, well done. Excellent. Do you know, I actually started putting my cards, my surplus cards, just a couple of weeks ago at our church too, and just put a note in the ladies' chat group to say, help yourselves. Because every time I make cards on my lives, I've got 2. Okay, now I just want to bring some ribbon while we're doing these pages one by one. Oh, that's nice, Mum. Glad you like that. Yeah, it's a really beautiful album, that one. Okay, so I'm just going to staple this.
Yeah, that postage is going to go up from the 1st of July, Leslie Ann. All postage in NZ goes up 1st of July every year.
And then I just want to make that come in on that side, that they adjacent to each other. Yeah, I normally post out cards, birthday cards for my, oh no, it's run out of staples. Okay, just hold on. I need to find the staples. They are here. There they are. All right. Okay, let's just fill this up. I can do it, love. No, hang on. Don't fiddle with that one. Ask Mum. That's a very complicated stapler. It's not your standard one. It's still the same stapler, Mum, that we had the issue with many years ago when you visited. This one. Oh, hang on. I've got double staples. So if you have an old Stampin' Up stapler like this one, And you wonder what size staples it takes. It takes a 10-4 staple, just in case you're wondering. I had a huge mission to find the right staples for it. Okay, coming in. And is it through? Oh, that doesn't feel like it's through. Oh, don't ruin my journal. Don't you dare ruin my journal. Okay, it doesn't look happy for now, but I'm not going to fuss with it for now. We have work to do. Okay, so we're this far. Now we come into these big ones. So I'm just going to glue down the sequence. That goes there. That goes there. I just need to make sure that my sizing is all right. I think so. Okay.
Leslie Ann says she's got 12 pen pals all around the world now.
12! That is so cool. That is very cool. Let's make sure that's fitting there. Where are they? Where are you getting letters from?
And is that still traditional pen and paper pals, not email pals?
I think they are, from memory, what she shared with me in the past.
Mum told me off, don't touch the stapler.
I told you. Yep. We had such drama with that stapler.
I think Mum still has nightmares.
Well, it was quite a mission, and it still actually is not the same. It's not the same. Why is this not feeling, this doesn't feel like it's right.
Oh, that's awesome. No email pen pals, only long paper and pen. Pen pals and junk journalers.
Oh, I like junk journaling. Okay, we're almost coming to the end now. So this one is quite a cute one because it's got a little pocket. Just want to make sure I've got that right. Yep, those are turned over. Oh. Oh yeah, okay. So this one needs a pocket. Okay. Just need to get my bearings right here. So that one is going to go, is that right? Hold on. The pieces are slightly narrower for some and slightly wider for others. Okay, so that piece goes there. And of course you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to put, we've got one more score piece. Which needs to come over here. So that's another 4 1/4 by 4, scored at half. Okay, burnish that well. And now I can put that piece inside. That piece inside. So these two, this is a 3 by 2 3/4 little rectangle that we're going to glue together. And then I'm going to cut it at those angles.
Mum says she loves the lilac paper, both sides of it.
It's such beautiful paper. absolutely my favorite paper ever. And I just, yeah, anything with lavender. I'm so pleased it's come back. So the stamps and the dies for the perennial lavender have now gone on to the last chance list, but not the paper. Okay, I'm bringing back my paper trimmer. So I'm going to cut this one at an angle. I'm just putting in the corner and I'm just cutting it at that angle. And then I want to do the opposite for that side. And I'm not really fussed. It doesn't have to be matchy. It just has to be opposites. And I can do something else with those scraps later on. Okay, so this one is going to be on the 3 corners. And over there. So that's a little tuck spot, and that little tuck spot over here. Okay, like that. Almost there.
Leslie Ann's a true jet setter with her pen pals. Las Vegas, Florida, Oregon, Spokane, Europe.
That sounds like it's in Greece. Oh, this needs to be cut shorter. Let's just measure that. That doesn't look right. I just want to quickly measure this. 3.5. That sounds like it's in Greece, Spokane. I think that's in Greece.
I'm not sure of the
So how
pronunciation.
often do you have to...
Spokane.
So how often do you have to, or do you write to each other? Oh, now I've cut it too short. Never mind. And last little piece. Alrighty. Fantastic. And there we have. So I'm going to show you how I put my flowers on so that you can see, but it will dry overnight. So let's just do a quick flick through. Spokane, okay. So this is what it's looking like. So you see the difference those flowers, you see the difference those flowers make. It's the flowers. Right, so we go through a quick flick through this one we've just put together. So we've got that with a magnetic opening, a tuck spot. Just need to glue that down. All right, my little doors that open, little tuck spots there and there, tuck spots in there, and at the back, and my spine. So in order to do the flowers, I just want to get my glue. I use a product called Liquitex Heavy Gel. You can do either a gloss or a medium, a gloss or a matte. And I just use a ice cream stick, and I literally take my dried flowers. So I'm going to break a stem off that. I'm going to use the stem of the little weed that I had. I'm just going to break off a stem there. And another dried Helleborus from my garden that I have. And because I've got this open space here, in this case, I feel that that would be a good place for my flowers, like so. That looks perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my bulldog clip. Let's just put it in place. I think that arrangement, hold on. I thought about it too late to go and get a, I just want to hold it. I just want it. And then I pick up some of my heavy gloss, heavy gel. I just get this from, you can get this from Hobbyland. You can get this from, oops, this one's moving. Anywhere where you get art supplies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some onto my cover. Let the leaves touch. They literally just need to touch it and they will adhere. I'm going to lift up the status, just gently, just drag it down. It dries with a clear, with a little bit of a shimmer. That's because it's the gloss one. And then I'm just going, I need to make sure this one's going to stick, because this, if there's going to be one that's going to move, it'll be my Helleborus. So we definitely want it touching. And I want the stems to be glued down. Hang on, let's just paper clip this. It can get a little bit messy. Just going, oh, don't move it. I don't want to, I've got to be very careful because they dried. They will snap. And pop that back quickly. So I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. Rich can verify that there is glue now on the stems.
Yep.
And it will adhere. It will dry overnight. It will dry clear. And that, I'm going to leave that for probably, until I go to bed in a couple of hours' time. What have I done with my lid? I'm going to close my lid, and I cover things like textured paste or my liquid matte mediums with these number 82 black rubber thingies that I got on Amazon. And it just makes it that they don't dry out. And that is our journal. So once that is dried, I will do my sentiment. I haven't decided what sentiment I want on there yet. But yeah, we're pretty much finished. So that'll dry. Gyps folio would be amazing. Absolutely. Any kind of dried finish. Yeah, the flowers definitely do finish it off. I'll bring in the original one. So I just when I'm walking, let's go back there. When I'm walking, especially when it's midsummer or sort of late summer, when the flowers are starting to create seeds. Let me just, if you move, love, you can see behind over here are my bottles of dried flowers. And I've got all of them. I've got all different types. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I've got my status. I've got all kinds of different dried flowers that we just pick, and I just stick them in the bottles and I let them dry, and then I use them in my flowers. So it makes a huge difference. So there we go. There's your album, your mini album. We will definitely, hopefully it wasn't too much of a mammoth task. Where we've been 45 minutes, so it's not too bad. But yeah, fun. So let me know, what would you like to do next week? Do you want me to play with some new product? I've got brand new product that arrived this afternoon. Shall we play with some new product? See what we can come up with?
You'll be playing on your own.
You're not going to be here. Yes, that's right. All right. Well, yes. Do you want to play with new product? Yes, Leslie Ann's saying yes, please. Okay. I will play with some new product and come up with a project and see what we can do. All right. All right, ladies, and anyone else that's been watching quietly, thank you so much for coming and joining me this evening. I hope that's inspired you. And yes, we can definitely do this as a face-to-face class at the end of the month, Leanne, not a problem. All right, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now. We might just start adolescence. Maybe. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
We'll see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.